Hello, everyone. It's you. Oh my goodness, I'm just on this emotional high that I just couldn't keep quiet. I had to share. I had to share. So it's Thursday. If you followed me last Thursday and Thursday before, um, right now on Thursdays I am teaching a emotional wellness group class for you teens, and it's called Dealing with Your Feelings. So the first week we talked about naming your feelings. The second week we talked about what's hiding underneath your feelings, and today, so actually they get to pick then from now on like which feelings we focus on, because we kind of did the general stuff in the beginning and then general at the end, but in the middle, they get to pick. So this session today, so they the girls in the groups, wanted to talk about anxiety, like how to deal with anxiety. And before we start each session, I always have them review the assignment from last week, like how what they did about it, kind of go over that. And I'm just so proud of my girls, so proud, so proud. It's like this is what I love. What I love doing what I do. So I know I'm getting excited. I'm not telling you what happened. So as they shared the homework, I had one kid, one of the participants in the program, shared how um, she saw that. So there's over kids in her school who have been stealing from the lunch line, and she's seen this happen before, and it bothers her and it makes her angry, because remember, this was emotional wellness, so we're getting to the emotions of things, and what do we do with our emotions. So she was sharing how used to make her so angry, and she was so angry about this, and she didn't know what to do, and before she would just let that anger just kind of bite her inside, if you want, and she just kind of suffocate with her until over time it kind of dissipate. So this time she's like, no, now she had the tools, because we've been talking about how to deal with her feelings. So she took that anger and turned it to something positive. She actually reported those kids to, I think, to the lunch lady or someone. She reported to one of the school staff. So instead of letting this anger just build in her and make her feel like she couldn't do anything about it, because of the class, she gathered enough energy, enough tools, and enough courage, enough strength to be assertive and actually go up and report what was wrong and stand for what she for her values. And I'm like, yes, 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 because this is why I do what I do. And you might not realize, I was like, well, yeah, it's just she want to report on some kids. That's not the point. The point is that she felt strong enough to do that. And to the point, and she even said, I didn't care if they called me snitch afterward, because I was doing what I needed to do, what was right, but also what I needed to do to feel better. So through this class, the kids are learning to be assertive. They're learning to stand on what they believe in. They're learning to, to ground their values, if you want. And like, who doesn't want that? We all want that for our kids, and for ourselves, adults. And even when we think about, I was having another conversation with another friend recently. We were talking about bullying, how it's so much and so prevalent, and it's like it's affecting our kids in so many ways. And some kids that we got to this conversation because it was a young kid. I think she was probably 7 or 8. I think it was like second or third grade, who literally wanted to commit suicide because she felt bullied. And bully's not good. Like, I'm not here to say it's okay that no one's getting bullied, but hear me out. Bullying is wrong. But here we're also not preparing the kids to be emotionally strong and have the courage and the strength to confront life, to confront things that come up. So I love that what I'm doing, like I said, I'm in the business of saving lives, and at different levels. So in the teens who are right now in my program are learning not only to stand up for what they believe, they're learning to, to be assertive, they're learning to, to speak up. They are learning to confront people, and they're learning it's okay to, it's okay to do the right thing even when we're alone doing it. And these kids honestly are learning all those skills that will help them. That, yes, if even one, actually the kid that had reported the others, the over kids at her school, she was bullied before as well. But now it's just from being in the class, she feels so emotionally strong that she's like taking this on. And I even asked her how things going at school now, how like she had this one particular male student who was, kind of the bully. How's it been going? She's like, he's not been doing that at all. So through the first session she had talking about this bullying, and then, we talked about it, how she could take care of herself, how reporting it, and then we got the parents, and the parents got involved. The parents went to the school, and it's amazing how, sorry, I'm get too excited and like I talk with my hands and my throat is shutting, it's drying up here. So, and here, the same girl, just 2 weeks ago, I mean, this is week 3 of this program. And it's amazing the growth that I'm already seeing in these girls. So that's just one girl who literally, not so assertive that she can stand up against the bully, stand up, against, the thieves at school and report them and be okay that she knows that people won't, maybe not like her afterward, but she's okay with it because once she knows who she is and she standing on her values, that is huge. Yes, this is why I do what I do. It's like, it's giving people, not just children or teens, but even adults, giving people the strength, the skills they need, the resources they need to be emotionally strong to deal with life. Life is not easy. I mean, it's not easy for us adults. It's not easy for the kids. I mean, honestly, I am glad I was not born in this era. Hi, Shawnee. I'm glad I was not born in this era. I mean, life is hard these days as a teen. Life is hard even for adults as well. But I am glad that I can, and I'm not just glad, I am honored that I can walk along these teens, I can walk along even adults and give them the resources they need, the tools they need, the emotional, help them create an emotional toolbox to deal with life stressors. I'll say that again. I help people create an emotional toolbox. I give them resources and tools to put in that toolbox so they can deal with life stressors. And as a result, they become more assertive. They become more grounded. They become more loving of them, accepting of themselves. They become advocates for themselves and for others. This is huge. So that was one kid. And the other one, oh my goodness, the other one, she said she had a friend who had, this again was just the homework. We didn't even get to the class yet. So this was just the homework, them reviewing how they used the tools we talked about the previous week. So this, another students, if you want to participate in the program, was sharing how, I guess this past weekend or one day she was supposed to go to an event with a friend. A friend had asked her to go to this event, and then she started seeing that friend start posting things on social media, Snapchat, that she was going with someone else. And she felt hurt, she felt rejected, she felt angry. And not only I was proud of her for using those terms, because remember that was our week 1 in the program, is naming your emotions, giving yourself permissions to call things for what they are. And it was so neat to see them do that. Like, really, she named it. She told me, she was able to say exactly how she was feeling. And then she went and went a little deeper and still figure out why she felt that way. Remember what I said again, all week 2, with the teens were looking at what was hiding underneath. So then she was able to say what was hiding underneath for her was like she didn't matter to this person. And I'm like, wow, that's big. That's huge. Being able to like touch that. Because sometimes even adults, we get overwhelmed, we get stressed out, we get, mad, sad, whatever the feeling is. And sometimes we don't know why. Either we might know this is the incident that led to it, but we might not realize exactly what value has been, I guess, touched or bothered, or, what value, which one of our values were not respected. That's often what leads us to feel angry and mad and, sad and all that. So for her, it was that, she didn't feel like this person, respected her or valued her. And that's what bothered her the most. That's what was hiding underneath the anger and the feeling of rejection. So then we talked about, what did you do about it? So like now you know what you're feeling, why you're feeling it. What did you do? That's the next step. So then she said, well, in the moment, I didn't know what to do. I was so overwhelmed with it. I didn't do anything. And instead of telling her, oh, you didn't do anything in the moment, you should have talked to her, you should have done that. No, I let her speak it out, like let her just process. And then she said, yeah, after I got a time to, to think about it, to deal with it, then the next day I went and talked to her and I felt better. I'm like, oh, geez. I'm like, I was like I said, I'm an emotional high because I'm so proud of these kids. So she realized with the tools that she's been learning and the strategies she's been learning through the program, that when you're when you're emotionally overcharged, it's not the time to go deal with your problems. It's not the time to go confront someone when you're really mad and angry, or, feeling rejected or feeling down. That's not the time. She knew that she had to take care of herself first. And take care of herself meant taking that time, that moment to just calm down, right? To think about it, think about what she wanted to do about it, time to process her own emotions, do her own self-care first. And then when she felt like she was, emotionally strong and stable enough to talk about it, then she went and talked about it. I'm like, you nailed it, girl, you got it. So she went and talked to this girl, and then it felt all better. She felt better. The relationship was repaired. Now, there, at least there's this mutual understanding of what happened. But how many of us adults don't even do this? I'm glad that I get to teach these girls these things now, like at this age, and then they're growing with these skills. And those are things they can implement throughout life. And it's just amazing. So they're feeling better. We're only on week 3, and we still have 3 weeks to go. And they're like, this is great. Oh yeah, I can go on and on. So what we actually talk about today then was anxiety. We talk about what is anxiety. Usually let them define it first, and then I bring my clinical background. But it's a discussion. It's not just a lecture. I don't do lectures. I love to do discussion with them, because I believe that when you are engaged in the conversation, that's how you learn. So we do different activities and different scenarios, so they get to think through the scenarios, and then we can discuss what their thoughts are. So anyway, we looked at what is depression, what causes depressions, and then what are some calming strategies they can use in right there in the moment with when they feel anxiety, when they feel anxious, and then some strategy they can do later, and then strategy they can do long term. So I'm sorry I got confused with depression, because that's actually next week. So next week they asked to do depression. That's what we're going to focus on. But in a nutshell, what I told the girls this week. So I was getting excited about how they just apply what they learned last week. But what I told them this week was that, our brains don't know the difference between reality and imagination. So like when you're feeling anxious, whether it's a perceived or a real threat, your brain doesn't really know the difference. So the way that you work through depression, anxiety, sorry, is to trick your brain to think differently. And the way you did, there's many ways. I'll be here all day if I'm not going to go into the whole class, but there's many ways for you to trick your brain. And if it's a perceived threat, then you want to remind your brain of what is actually true, that whatever that threat is, it's only perceived, it's not true. So remind your brain of the truth, of what's real. Give your brain evidence of things that are correct. So if, for example, if the girl who thought that she was rejected in that moment because a friend didn't take her out to whatever they had planned to do, so that was actually it's real, because the incident actually happened. But her reaction to it, the fact that she felt rejected, she was only rejected by one person, not by everyone. So the way to trick her brain is to bring that truth back to your memory. It's like, hey, this is only one person who rejected me. How many other people accept me? So then going down the list, families, siblings, other friends, or co-workers, and all those people that will affirm you. And then once you start doing that, your brain then you force your brain to focus on the positive, on the things that brings you peace. But also at the same time, you're telling your brain that what it was thinking in the beginning was not true. Right? So the only way to rewire your brain is to start speaking to your brain. Yes, I give you permission to speak to your brain, and you have to change the language up here, because what we think up here becomes what we feel down here, and then becomes what we do with the rest of our bodies. You probably heard me say this before, but your thoughts dictates your feelings, and your feelings controls your actions. If I'm thinking a certain way, then I'm going to feel a certain way, then I'm going to act a certain way. And then the way I act just kind of reinforce that unhealthy thinking I had in the first place, what I call stinking thinking. So I want you to start thinking positive things. I want you to start thinking things that give you joy, things that are true, things that are holy, things that are peaceful. And so today the girls were learning about that, about how to trick your brain, so you crush the anxiety. And it was just amazing how like they were coming up with different ways of applying this in their life, whether at school or at home. And one of them who does like martial arts, and it's like how she gets really anxious before a tournament. And we talked about how taking deep breaths, but as you're taking those deep breaths, reminding your brain that you did this before and you were okay. So these are all like, it was, I can go on and on, but anyway, so we learned all of that today and more about anxiety. And then next week we'll be talking about depression. So I share all of this just to tell you, if you yourself or your teen needs help with emotional wellness, needs tools to, emotional tools to give her strength and to give her the skills she needs to face life stressors, reach out to me. I am open and willing to help. This is why I do. Like I said before, I am in the business of emotional tune-ups and mental resets and ability boosters. I'm here to remind people that they can do these things, that they can be more, that they can do more because they were made for more. So I'm signing off. Time for me to get ready for bed. I know it's only 7:25, but after all this emotional stuff, I need to calm down. The positive emotional stuff. I'm really happy. I'm proud of myself, but I'm more proud of these girls and all that they're doing for themselves. It's like, yeah. And we don't think about emotional wellness as a tool for life, but it surely is. It surely is. These girls are learning to be assertive, to stand their grounds, to be advocates, to stand up for what they believe in, and it's only because they're learning emotional wellness, believe it or not. So that's it for today. Talk to you guys later. Bye.